Doug Dixon, and I'm a trustee at Euclid Avenue United Methodist Church, and I've been asked on this beautiful Sunday afternoon to give you a brief background on how we came to run the capital campaign associated with installing a geothermal heating and cooling system here at Euclid. This process really started long before the capital campaign or the geothermal project. In my view, as early as when Reverend Marty came to this congregation, she started helping us try to get our hands around our relationship to the earth, our relationship to the environment, and how a Christian calling to serve the earth is probably better than extracting things from the earth. So we began to do small things throughout the whole community, things like low-hanging fruit to improve our environmental consciousness, started doing things, sealing up the doors, sealing up the windows, changing lights out, recycling more, using more reusables as opposed to disposables, helping people launch projects in their home to improve energy utilization, just really trying to improve our stewardship of God's world. The other thing that we did was began to become more active in small groups throughout the community. So instead of having this big monolithic thing called the church that would do everything together, we wanted to have small groups doing different types of programs and campaigns. One small group that came to be was something called the Green Action Group. It's a really horrible acronym called GAG. But what Green Action Group was doing was trying to find new ways to get people to think about environmental consciousness, to think about sustainability, and bring those back to the community. So as part of their work, they started lobbying people to be more active in sustainability and environmental consciousness efforts throughout the community. So in probably 2009, 2010, those guys have started investigating how could we really make a big step in improving our environmental consciousness in church, because we'd run out of low-hanging fruit, and they suggested, well, we might want to think about geothermal. Only one problem with that. Well, not one problem. At that time, I was a mainline trustee and lay leader of the church, and frankly was quite skeptical of many things. One thing that came across my mind, well, the boiler, albeit 50 years old, it works. So why would we need to replace it? And geothermal, that stuff, that's an untried technology. Why would we use that? Or geothermal, or any type of major capital expenditure. That's a lot of money. And this is coming out of the recession. People don't have any money. So I had several reasons why geothermal would not work. But undeterred, the Green Action Team, the trustee committee, began to evaluate what was going on in our building. The trustees are responsible for the physical plant. So we authorized an engineering study to study the entire building to figure out where we were losing money through inefficiency and waste, and what equipment we needed to prepare to replace over the next 5, 10, 15 years. As a result of that study, we found out that the boiler system, despite my good wishes, was on its last legs and needed to be replaced or completely re-overhauled. So with that information in mind, we went back, looked at the option to do geothermal, and determined the costs were pretty much even, that we could implement geothermal for about the same price as putting in a new boiler system. So that resolved one objection. The next objection was, how would we fund it? So what we decided to do was use this groundswell of enthusiasm about environmental concerns throughout the community to launch a campaign to raise sufficient funds to put in a geothermal system, which was non-trivial. The rough budget we had in mind was well in excess of our annual operating budget, and I didn't feel as though we were a rich community. But we were able to put together a team. Probably a good 10% of the active members of the community were involved in the committee to run what became the Sustaining Our Holy Ground capital campaign to support geothermal. Had 8, 9 sub-teams as part of the 20-man team to do publicity, run events, do household gathering meetings, run 2 question and answer sessions, do solicitations, just the whole 9 yards. I was asked to co-chair that committee. We ran over the course of, I think it was 2011, throughout the course of the summer, and after what was really a 3-month capital campaign, I'm quite pleased to say that we were able to raise sufficient pledges to fund the implementation of the geothermal heating and cooling system. Having secured pledges in hand, we were able to go to a bank, a local bank, and secure a loan so that we could pay the entire amount to install the geothermal heating and cooling systems. So that was 2.5 years ago. As a result of the past couple of years' work, we have significantly reduced our petrocarbon load, our carbon footprint, through lowering our gas costs by having the geothermal heating and cooling system. The other thing we were able to do, as part of the installation, we had to rip out, so to speak, or find something for a geothermal well system, and we were able to put that where our parking lot was. And in resurfacing the parking lot, we used permeable brick, so we weren't contributing to sewer system and runoff problems throughout the community. We were also able to, by the way, as a byproduct, we were able to air condition the sanctuary. So basically, for the price of replacing a boiler, we were able to get heating, cooling, and restore a more natural water handling system in our large parking lot. So that's pretty much the story of Euclid's capital campaign and the implementation of what has been a wonderful, wonderfully enriching process to actually make us more conscious of protecting God's earth, and has led us to a point where we're actually considering an even more aggressive action to reduce our electricity costs by putting solar panels on the roof of the flat structure of the building. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We feel part of our evangelistic mission is to talk about how churches can be more involved in sustaining God's word as God's word has sustained us. Thank you.